that's that's another topic of conversation I really want to explore. Male intuition. Glad that you said.
Mhm.
I'm glad that those words were uttered first by a woman, because it's like classically with a blunter sex. When it comes to intuition and sensitivity, we're well known for being a little bit behind in those states. But I mean, I think that's starting to change anyway. Like, that's a bit of an outdated stereotype. I know some pretty sensitive men, and I know some pretty blunt, crass, and insensitive women at the same time. But this thing about, because this is an intuitive way of working.
Yeah.
Like whatever modality of, spiritual shamanic ritual you do, to do a vision quest is, insight. Where does it come from? Purpose. Where does it come from? It's not like we sit down with an action plan and do like a 7-step coaching program to help you find your purpose. It's something that seems to grow out of something much more unmanageable, untamable. And I want to understand a little bit about how does it actually work to find one's purpose, and how does the vision quest process help in that? And the reason why this is such a central question is because, I mean, I'll say this for my life, but I think it's true for most masculine men. To not know what our purpose is the most painful thing in existence. And I would rather take crippling, devastating heartbreak for a few months than to spend a few months not actually knowing my purpose in the world. Like waking up and that thing of meaninglessness. Like, what do I do? What should I do? Oh, it doesn't really matter. Like, what's the point? I'll just look at Facebook a little bit. I'll distract myself, or watch YouTube for 3 hours. Oh, it doesn't matter if I get out of bed. Might as well just have a bit more, another bowl of cereal and get back under the duvet.
Sounds pretty depressive to me.
Totally. But I mean, I've spent periods of my life really, really like that, where it's, I want to do something. I want to feel connected. I want meaning in my life. I want a sense of purpose, but I don't have it. Where do I get it from? I don't know. I watched something on YouTube. Well, that didn't really help, even though it, soothed the pain for a time. And I think it's one of the fundamental pain points for man in his life to not know quite clearly where he's going. So this is a big topic, and that's my question. Like, how does the life purpose get revealed? How do we find it? Let's spell out that process. Yeah.
I can tell you a little bit from my experience. Like, finding out my soul's purpose it's been a long journey, and bit by bit things have been revealed on my path within different ceremonies, with different teachers, and it's kind of like, if you have that realization of, oh, this could be something that I need to be doing, you feel it in your body. And I think connecting that with intuition is a very intuitive thing, no? Knowing your soul's mission. So developing your intuition, getting in tune with your body helps to know your soul's mission. So for me, there was, for example, one spiritual teacher that I was studying with, and he was really a miraculous man. So I had an opportunity to speak with him, and then I asked him, I was like, what am I doing here? Why am I so attracted to being here? This was actually an ashram in India, and he was like a real like a saint, you know. He had miraculous powers, healing powers.
Indian guru
And
type guy.
so, yeah, so being able to speak to him was a very rare opportunity. I was walking in the garden, and I had been praying that I had really wanted to speak with him. And then I was coming out of the temple, and he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh." So now I was like, okay, I have this burning question. It's like, why am I here? You know, why am I so attracted to be here in this place, to follow these teachings? I mean, I feel really drawn, but I still don't really know where I'm going to. I just graduated from the university with a master's degree, thinking that I now needed to pursue a career in science, or you know, you having a high position, and kind of making my family proud, making myself proud with doing something that I thought was really great to achieve. But then the moment he told me that it's actually my soul's mission, to be a healer and to heal people and help people on their path to find their essence, when he told me that, it's like, I don't know, my heart opened, and I had the strongest sensation in my body. And it was like this recognition. It was a relief. It was excitement. It was joy. I was like crying my eyes out just from him telling me this. And of course, also to me, he was quite an authority. Like, if he would tell me this, then it must be true. But it was more my own body telling me that his words were truth, because it was resonating within my entire being, within every cell in my body. So after having that small conversation with him, I went back into the temple, and I just fell on my knees out of gratitude. And I think I cried tears of joy for like 2 hours, just thanking the universe and everything that led me up to being there and having those teachings, and you know, having that recognition of that being my soul's mission. Of course, it also kind of disrupted a little bit within my ideas of now having a great career as either a scientist or within the business life. But I think those moments really help you to realize what it is. It's like, what gives you the highest joy? I mean, I have pretty extreme experiences. So I also realized that not everyone
goes to see an Indian guru at, you know, 22 years old or whatever. Yeah.
But it's more like, you know, kind of painting the picture of what happens within your body when a message resonates with you. And this message can come from someone else. It can come from your own intuition, from your higher self. It's just that all of a sudden, that knowing, like, yeah, this is it. And then throughout my life, throughout my spiritual path, I would have these kinds of experiences that would remind me of that. And every time I would discover a little bit more about myself and my powers, my essence. And it was actually on the Vision Quest where I plainly asked, like, okay, just tell me, reveal to me, what is it now, really specifically, what I need to do? And I got the answer, you know? And it was really funny, because it was actually this sentence that came up that said that my soul's purpose is helping people to find their essence by taking them out of their comfort zone. And that it's my power to be so enthusiastic about something that they kind of might forget about the hardships for a moment, because I can be so enthusiastic and kind of tell them like how amazing it is to have this experience, this adventure, that they kind of go like, yes, this is what I want. And then once they go into it, they go like, oh my God, what do I have to endure? But
she's
kind of, you know,
with the power of excitement.
Yeah, it's kind of like helping people to get over that initial resistance of getting out of the comfort zone, because really the magic lies within your uncomfortability. Or let's say, like, if you go out of your comfort zone, that's where the magic happens. That's where the real teachings are. That's where the real growth is. Because your comfort zone is easy. You know what it's like. Uh, it's nice, but it's a pattern. It's a habit. So it's not so likely that you will grow. Of course, everyone grows in life. No matter what you do, you evolve. That's natural. That's what we do. But then going out of your comfort zone deliberately, it is what really makes you have that peak experience and have that powerful transformation.
Yeah, it's the fast road.
Yeah.
So you, you were on a vision quest, and it got revealed to you, one, what your purpose is, and two, what one of your biggest gifts is, and how that intertwines with the purpose.
Yeah.
That's cool. I want to, like you said, another phrase as well, which I want to bring in, which is praying for a vision.
Mm.
And this is kind of cool. I'll tell a little story. We're just about finishing our third round of the advanced right now. So, I mean, what we're going to do together, you're going to do the Vision Quest at the end of a 6-month online mastermind program. So me and Zan are going to be leading guys through a lot of different challenges, practices, themes. And then we come to the end and it's like, Vision Quest. Okay, here it is. The live thing to understand your masculinity in your body. But yeah, on the way, we have this online mastermind program, a whole bunch of different themes. We work closely with the guys doing coaching and tracking everyone's progress. And we had one guy on our second round, and he brought a lot of things to the table, but one thing that he had in droves, which is exceedingly rare, especially among men nowadays, is a level of sincerity that was just touching. Like his sincerity, and he would start saying, as the weeks went by, and this often happens when we do when we do one of our transformational processes, like guys will have some quick wins, and then a few weeks will go by where it starts to dry up. And it's like the weeks where it dries up, like you feel more clunky, your ways of showing up are not landing, you're changing on the inside, but your behavior on the outside hasn't really caught up with that yet. Your authentic self has now shifted quite a lot, but you don't even realize how much, and the way you express yourself doesn't yet align. So that there's like a shift. So you go through a bit of a U-bend where it's good at the start and then it gets a bit unpredictable, and then you come out at the end in a higher place. And he was going through a few weeks of, I'm not seeing anyone. I just stopped dating 3 women because it wasn't that authentic, but I haven't found anyone else. And he said, but I started praying. Like I started waking up and praying to God every day that I would meet somebody. And I really mean it. Like I've had all these relationships, and they're not what I most am deeply looking for. Just like, God, please, like send me a woman who I love 100%. Send me a woman who knocks me out with her beauty but touches my heart. Send me a woman who I don't have to, so that when I'm with her, I feel complete and I don't have to look over my shoulder comparing her to other women anymore. It was so sincere, praying every morning. We've coached hundreds of guys, but how many pray? Because it's such a humble act. But in the act of praying, I'm revealing my sincerity, my need, my faith, but my smallness at the same time. It's so beautiful. A couple of weeks later, he had proper, full-on, mystical, falling in love experience with a girl he met at a swimming pool party. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I read the story and then we spoke, and it's, he was with her, goosebumps came on end, time stopped. You know what I mean? Those moments where you fall in love and you're actually there, like we're falling in love right now. Shit, this is it. What the fuck? Like, it's crazy. And he had that moment, and he had 6 months of relationship uncertainty. I don't know how this is going to pan out. She's not the right girl for me. It's too crazy. I'm in love. But they ended up moving in together, living together. And it's just, as a coach, it's just one of those most heart fulfilling success stories you could ever wish to have. Come as, aligning with your program, and him thanking me because if it wasn't for the stories that I told, or the pokes that I gave him, like, think about this and stop doing this and try this, it might not have happened. And I mean, the reason why I'm saying this is crying for a vision. That's the theme that I wanted to flag up. That place where we are so sincere and so humble and so willing to kind of get on our knees, because we want an experience that's greater than our egos. We want to taste something transcendent. And I think in order to taste transcendence, or to have that feeling of divine, whether it's a divine relationship or a transcendent feeling of purpose, in order to have that, I think we have to be willing to get on our knees and admit just how humble and small we are.
Yeah, it's beautiful that you say this, because sometimes we forget about, we get so excited about this whole process, but what it's actually about is connecting with the elements of nature and recognizing them, recognizing the earth, the trees around us, and that all the elements outside of us in nature also inside of us. So is that praying for a vision is like, you go through a bit of work within the Vision Quest. It's not like, 4 days, 4 nights, you're just going to be there sitting, enjoying, lying in the sun for a little bit. We actually put you to work with, certain meditations and exercises to really, go another level deeply. And then by the time you've released all that energy and you've kind of become in your place, where you feel so at home, you give thanks, and this will happen naturally. You'll be thankful for your surrounding, for your spot, for the trees that give you protection from the sun, for the birds that fly over and that sing for you when you wake up. So this is because you start opening up to all these beautiful sounds and energy from nature around you, which is the divine. And so naturally you start, speaking with the trees and with the plants and with the water and with the rocks.
Yeah.
And then, well, I do.
I read some books where the people did it as well, so I believe you. But
I mean, wow. I don't know. Maybe if I'm taking a little bit too far. But anyway, what it's about is like we teach you within this program as well to be thankful for nature, to be thankful for the elements. And for me, praying is nothing more than communing with the divine. It's like you have an honest conversation and you recognize that the divine is there to support you, to enrich you, and that it's nature that's sustaining us. It's like the earth. What a beautiful gift to be alive in this body, on this earth, to be sustained by the earth. All the food that we eat, the water that we drink, the air that we breathe, all comes from the earth. It comes from nature. Nature will be existing long after us. Without nature, we have no means to exist, really. So it's really, engaging within that conversation with nature, with divine, and praying for a vision. So we start to recognize that there's so much more than us, within us, because everything that's outside of us is a reflection from ourselves. As above, so below, as without, so within.
So what?
And yes.
Yeah. What does it mean to pray for a vision? It sounds like being on your knees in full connection with nature, in full humility, but asking, please, like, show me my path forward. I've worked my ass off for 6 months. I've come all the way here to France. I've not eaten any food for 3 freaking days. Like, I'm begging you. I'm on my knees. What do I do with my life? Where do I go? What is more authentic? Give me the courage to. Do I leave my job, or do I? What continent do I live in? Like that's kind of what I imagine. That's why I'm kind of double checking the phrase with you. That's kind of what I imagine. It's like a listen, God, I surrender. Like show me the way forward. Or
Um, that could be it. Definitely, it could be that humbling experience where you're on your knees and you're really like, crying for a vision, like please. But it could also be a moment where you feel bigger than life, where you feel exhilarated and powerful because you feel that connection. And that way, asking, like, okay, reveal to me what it is that I need to know. Um, and both are amazing. It's like it really depends on the moment and what you need, what your personality is, how this takes form, and what it looks like. And it can be a dance. You can be dancing, and for me, dancing and movement works really well to get in tune with myself and the spirits, and finding within that dance the grace within the movement, and that way receive information, get receive knowledge in terms of words or a vision or a feeling in your body. And so for everyone it's different, because this is also, it's an intuitive thing. um, and everyone's intuition talks to them in different ways. For some people it's visual, for other people it's more mental, in the sense of that you actually know in your mind what it's like, or you hear it. Some people hear voices. And the way how you reach that state is different for everyone. But it's mostly it's engaging in that conversation with the divine, with the spirits, with nature, and asking for what you want to receive. And it's a kind of a reciprocal thing, right? You're being thankful, offering your thankfulness, your words, offering your dance. For me, dance really is a prayer, in the sense that I'm offering my movements to the divine. It's like, it's a expression of creativity, of grace, of beauty. And in that way, being thankful, and that way I also receive. So this can be also in a song. Some people might really feel the urge to sing. So first you will sing your words of thankfulness, and you might sing your questions, and maybe all of a sudden a whole song forms itself with the answers. So you'll start singing your own answers. Or it might be that you're on your knees with your head on the ground, bowing, and all of a sudden dissolving within nature, and having that experience of just being it all, knowing it all, not having the need for any questions or response, because
you are.
it all is. It all is.
Yeah.
Um,